we're gonna grow potatoes. What happened was I bought these little fingerling potatoes at the grocery store a couple of months ago, and a couple of weeks later they started having sprouts. So they got little, they're starting to germinate, and I think that's what you call it. Anyway, I'll show you that in a minute. But so I read about it on YouTube, a way to grow potatoes that basically potatoes do not like hard soil. They like soft soil, loose soil. And the garden we have is rocky, and the ground is hard. So, and I've never been very successful. So I'm going to try this method, which is going to be similar to what I've seen on YouTube. There's lots of videos on how to grow potatoes in pots, and my version is going to be a little bit different than what I've been reading about, because, well, I think it's going to work. We'll find out. So what I got here is a mix of leaves, which I just, raked up. I got wood chips. When I go saw, I get this isn't sawdust, but this is actually wood chips. And then I also put sawdust in it. I got some potting soil, put that in. I have some regular soil I had dug somewhere, and I put that in there. So I got regular soil, potting soil, leaves, and I have sawdust, wood chips. I'm putting in coffee grinds. I wish I had more. I started it a little late, so I'm gonna put coffee grinds in here too. There isn't much, but it's what I got. And then a friend of mine has chickens, and he had a whole trash can of chicken manure, and I said, "What are you doing with it?" And he said, "You want it?" I said, "Yeah." So I hauled a trash can full of chicken manure. So that's a little bit of chicken manure goes in here too. That's going to be the nitrogen. And then I'm going to put potatoes in it. Now, these potatoes, well, that'll be the next part. We'll talk about that. So I put all the mix in this pot. It's an old pot. I bought a fruit tree last year, and that's what it came in, and I always keep these things because they're always handy. So anyway, I got the mix in here, and so I had bought these fingerling potatoes at the grocery store a few months ago, and after 2 weeks they started to sprout. I go like, what the heck? Well, then, you know what? I'm gonna plant them. Now you could cut them and in 2, even in 3, but the thing is, it's better I have plenty, so it's better to keep them whole, because if you cut them, there's not as much energy. So, if this one will get, say, 6, 7 potatoes, whereas if you cut it, maybe each one will get 1 or 2. So personally, unless you want to plant acres and acres of potatoes, for me, this makes sense to plant them. And so what you do is you have to have these things the way they pointing up. That's how you plant it. So, and you put it about not far. So this is one, maybe this deep, and we'll do another one. I'm gonna put 4 in here. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I mean, yeah, because who knows? They may not all grow. Oh, here's a red one. Good. So, anyway, that's it. Now I'm gonna water it, and I'm gonna put it out somewhere in the open where it gets rained on, and we'll see what happens. This is an experiment for me. Now, one thing I was going to say too is that you read a lot of information on the net that says you got to buy seed potatoes. That's the only thing that will grow. You can't take the store-bought potatoes and plan on growing them. Well, that's not correct. You can, especially these exotic, what I call them exotic, uh, non, you know, non-normal uh, potatoes like fingerling potatoes. You know, they do well. I've done it before, and it works. So you can get, if you get potatoes at the grocery stores and they starting getting sprouts, then go ahead and plant them. You know, if you don't want to eat them, I mean, you can cut that out and eat them. It's not a problem. But these things had so many of them, they were getting mushy too. Not mushy, but soft. So you know what? I'm gonna use them as my seed potato. So anyway, we'll find out. I'll keep you posted.